The annual Henderson family Christmas gathering at the Aspen Lodge was their crowning social event. My sister Madeline had orchestrated every detail from the hand-calligraphed invitations to the imported decorations. I smoothed my simple black sweater, watching the scene unfold through the lodge's vast windows. My family hadn't spotted me yet, standing in the shadows of the grand lobby. "Did you hear from Emily?" Aunt Sarah asked Mom, who was arranging crystal champagne flutes. "Oh," Mom waved dismissively, "she won't be joining us. All the luxury hotels are fully booked." She smiled, clearly pleased. "We told her months ago to reserve rooms, but she was too busy with her, what does she call it? Hospitality consulting." If they only knew that hospitality consulting meant building elite hotels, the world's most exclusive luxury chain. 5 years of careful acquisition and development, all under shell companies to hide my identity as owner and CEO. "Poor Emily," Madeline simpered, adjusting her designer scarf. "Still playing hotelier while we enjoy the best suite at Aspen Lodge." My phone buzzed. A message from my COO. "Acquisition of Aspen Lodge complete. Transfer of ownership finalizes at midnight." She could have been part of this, Dad sighed, sipping his scotch. If she'd just joined the family real estate business instead of chasing pipe dreams. I checked my watch. In exactly 3 minutes, Elite Hotels would announce its acquisition of the lodge, along with 20 other premium properties worldwide. "At least she's employed," Mom sniffed. "Though managing budget hotels is hardly a career. All luxury hotels are fully booked." Madeline gloated again, clearly enjoying my supposed exclusion. "She'll probably spend Christmas at one of her little motels." I stepped forward finally, heels clicking on marble. "Actually, I have accommodations arranged." "Emily." Mom startled. "How did you get in?" "I own the building," I replied calmly, just as my phone buzzed with the official announcement. "Breaking news. Elite Hotels acquires luxury portfolio including Aspen Lodge. CEO Emily Henderson expands empire to 100 properties worldwide." Dad's face went pale. Madeline's champagne glass slipped from her fingers. "Margaret," I spoke into my phone, "please cancel the Henderson family's presidential suite access. Effective immediately." "That's impossible," Mom sputtered. "This is the most exclusive resort in Aspen. You can't possibly." "Check the ownership transfer," I suggested mildly. As of midnight, Elite Hotels owns not just this property, but every luxury hotel in Aspen. "Elite Hotels?" Dad whispered. "The chain that's revolutionizing luxury hospitality?" "My little hospitality consulting project," I nodded. "Though I suppose managing budget hotels isn't as impressive as real estate development." Madeline frantically checked her phone, reading the breaking news. $8 billion. Acquisition of premium properties. Industry-leading service protocols. "Your budget hotels," Mom said faintly. "They were just a cover." "A very profitable cover," I confirmed. "While you were mocking my career choice, I was building the most successful luxury hotel chain in the world." The lobby screens flickered with the news, showing Elite Hotels properties across the globe, each one more luxurious than the last. My photo appeared alongside headlines announcing the historic acquisition. "The Christmas reservations," Dad started, realizing the implications, "are now under Elite Hotels management," I finished. "And unfortunately, we have a strict policy against guests who treat hospitality workers as beneath them." My phone rang, the mayor of Aspen, probably calling about the town's largest property transfer in history. I let it go to voicemail. "Miss Henderson?" My assistant approached. "The international press is waiting for your statement about the acquisition." "The suite," Madeline said desperately. "All our Christmas plans should have included basic respect for people in hospitality," I replied. "Funny how that works out." Through the lobby windows I could see news vans arriving. The story of Elite Hotels' expansion was breaking worldwide. "But where will we stay?" Mom asked, her voice small. "Everything else is booked. There's a lovely budget motel on the outskirts of town," I smiled slightly. "Since that's more what did you call it? My level?" Dad stepped forward, his real estate developer confidence shattered. "Princess, we didn't know." "That was the point," I cut him off. I learned early not to share success with people who'd already decided I was a failure. My phone buzzed again. Stock prices soaring as markets reacted to Elite's expansion. The little hotelier had just become one of the most powerful figures in luxury hospitality. Emily, Mom tried again. It's Christmas. Yes, I agreed. A perfect time to learn about humility and the value of every person in the hospitality industry. As I turned to leave, Madeline called out desperately, "We're family." I paused at the grand entrance. Family? That didn't matter when you thought I was beneath you. Now if you'll excuse me, I have an empire to run. The next morning I sat in my private office at the Aspen Lodge, watching multiple screens display Elite Hotel's triumphant expansion. Every major news network covered the story, luxury hospitality's new queen, and how Emily Henderson built an $8 billion hotel empire in secret. "The transition is complete, Ms. Henderson," my CEO announced. "All properties now operating under Elite protocols. And," she smiled slightly, "your family spent the night at the Mountain View Motel." I glanced at the security feed showing my family trudging through snow from the budget motel, the only accommodation available during peak season. Madeline's designer luggage looked particularly out of place in the modest surroundings. "They're in the lobby," my assistant informed me through the intercom. "Your sister appears to be distressed." "Send them up," I said, turning to face the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the snow-covered mountains. "Let them see what playing hotelier really means." They entered like chastened children, their usual confidence stripped away. The office, all sleek luxury and commanding views, seemed to diminish them further. "The motel," Madeline began, her voice hoarse. "It was beneath you," I suggested. "Like hospitality work." "Emily," Mom stepped forward, clutching her designer handbag. "The news is saying Elite Hotels is worth $8 billion, I confirmed. Though with today's stock jump, probably closer to 10. Dad moved to speak, but froze as he saw the wall of awards behind my desk. Hotelier of the Year, Most Innovative Luxury Brand, Hospitality Visionary. "Your hotels," he said quietly. "They're not just luxury properties, are they? They're revolutionizing the entire industry." "Among other things," I nodded. "Elite service protocols are being studied at top business schools. Though I suppose that's not as impressive as local real estate development." My phone buzzed continuously, congratulations from world leaders, investment offers, acquisition proposals. The hospitality world had woken up to find a new queen. "The Christmas gala," Madeline said suddenly. "All the society people coming. We'll need to find other accommodations," I finished. Elite Hotels has rather strict standards about guest behavior. Mockery of service staff is an automatic blacklist offense. Mom sank into a guest chair. "But the planning committee, my charity board, they're all coming to Aspen." "They were coming to my hotel," I corrected. "And now they're not welcome. Actions have consequences." Through the windows, more guests arrived in luxury vehicles, Elite's signature service making even jaded travelers feel like royalty. "Ms. Henderson?" My assistant interrupted. "The Saudi royal family is requesting your personal attention for their New Year's booking. And the White House called about the presidential suite." "Tell them I'll handle it personally," I replied. "Unlike some people, I believe no guest is beneath my attention." Dad stepped forward, desperation in his voice. "Princess, we were wrong." "Save it," I held up my hand. "I'm about to announce Elite's next expansion. 10 more properties, including that resort in Maui you tried to buy last year." Madeline's head snapped up. "The one that wouldn't sell to us." "Because I already owned it," I smiled slightly. "Through one of my budget hotel companies." The screens showed Elite stock continuing to soar as markets digested our expansion news. The little hotelier had become hospitality's biggest success story. "The service standards," Mom said suddenly. "The way your staff treats every guest like royalty." "Because they are professionals who deserve respect," I emphasized. "Every housekeeper, every valet, every front desk clerk. The people you thought were beneath you? They're the heart of my success." My phone rang, another royal family seeking accommodations. Elite had become the only acceptable choice for the world's most discerning travelers. What do you want? Madeline asked quietly. Name your price to restore our reservations. I laughed, the sound echoing off marble walls. I'm worth $10 billion. There is no price. Then why? She pressed. Revenge. Education, I corrected. About respect, dignity, and the value of every person in hospitality. Consider this your crash course. The lobby screens showed more guests arriving, each receiving Elite's legendary welcome. Meanwhile, my family stood in borrowed clothes, their designer luggage stored in a budget motel. You should go, I said finally. I have an empire to run. The Mountain View Motel has a lovely continental breakfast, I hear. Quite a change from your usual caviar and champagne. As security prepared to escort them out, I called after them. Oh, and Madeline? The next time you mock someone in hospitality, remember, they might just own the building. 3 months later, I stood in Elite Hotel's flagship New York property, watching the sunset paint golden streaks across Manhattan's skyline. Forbes magazine's latest cover sat on my desk. The Hospitality Revolution. How Emily Henderson built a $15 billion empire on respect. The first quarter results, Ms. Henderson, my CFO announced, displaying holographic projections. Revenue up 200% since the expansion. Our service satisfaction scores are unprecedented. Through the windows I could see guests arriving, world leaders, celebrities, royalty, all drawn by Elite's reputation for unparalleled service and respect. Ms. Henderson? My assistant's voice came through. Your family is here. They've completed the training program. I checked the security feed. They looked different now, humbled. Madeline wore a simple black suit instead of her designer labels. After experiencing life on the other side of hospitality, they'd all changed. The training program had been my condition for even considering their return to Elite properties. 30 days working every position in a hotel. Housekeeping, front desk, kitchen staff, valet parking. Send them up, I said, turning to face the city lights. Let's see what they learned. They entered quietly, nothing like their former entitled selves. Mom's perfectly manicured hands showed signs of honest work. Dad's designer shoes were replaced with comfortable service industry standard. The housekeeper on the 4th floor, Madeline spoke first, her voice soft. Maria. She has 3 children and works 2 jobs. I used to snap my fingers at people like her. And now I understand why your first action as CEO was to double service staff salaries and provide full benefits. I nodded, remembering the industry's shock when Elite Hotels announced its revolutionary employee policies. The training, Dad said quietly. It was enlightening. Amazing what happens when you walk in someone else's shoes, I replied. Or in this case, someone else's uniform. Mom stepped forward, tears in her eyes. The guests I checked in, the way some of them looked at me like I was nothing. Like you used to look at hotel staff? I suggested mildly. They flinched collectively. The hospitality industry, I continued, moving to the window, isn't about luxury suites or champagne service. It's about human dignity. Every guest, every employee, every interaction matters. My phone buzzed with another update. Elite's employee satisfaction scores had set new industry records. Turnover was near zero, unheard of in hospitality. Your service protocols, Madeline said. They're not just about luxury, are they? They're about respect. Respect goes both ways, I confirmed. Elite Hotels succeeds because we value everyone, from the CEO to the newest trainee. We understand now, Dad whispered. I turned to face them fully. Do you? Understanding isn't just about walking in someone's shoes for a month. It's about permanent change. The foundation you're starting, Mom ventured. The one for hospitality education. Will provide full scholarships for service industry workers and their children, I nodded. Because everyone deserves a chance to rise. I want to help, Madeline said suddenly. Not in management or ownership, but really help. Maybe guest relations? Starting at the bottom. I studied her carefully. The entitled socialite was gone, replaced by someone who'd learned valuable lessons. Entry-level position, I said finally. No special treatment. You'll work every holiday including Christmas. Still interested? Yes, she said firmly. I need to make amends. Not just to you but to every service worker I ever disrespected. And us? Mom asked softly. The employee cafeteria serves Sunday brunch, I replied. Join me there. Not in the executive dining room. We eat where our staff eats. They nodded, understanding the ongoing lesson. But first, I added, there's someone you should meet. I led them to the lobby where an elderly housekeeper worked. Someone who'd been with me since my first hotel. This is Rosa, I introduced them. When every bank rejected my business plan, she invested her life savings in my first property. She believed in respect-based hospitality before it was profitable. Rosa smiled warmly. Miss Henderson showed me that good business and good hearts can go together. My family watched in silence as guests greeted Rosa by name, many stopping to chat with the woman they'd come to know and respect. I have to go, I gathered my materials. The World Economic Forum wants to discuss our employment model. Rosa, keep showing them what true hospitality looks like. As I reached the door, Madeline called out, Emily? Thank you. Not just for the lesson but for the chance to be better. I paused, looking back at my family, at Rosa, at the empire we'd built on a foundation of respect.